In Indian polity, we are going to discuss about fundamental rights. In our constitution, articles 12 to 35 under part 3 deals about the fundamental rights. Okay? So, we adopted these fundamental rights from USA. In USA, these fundamental rights are called as Bill of Rights. Okay? That's why part 3 is called Magna Carta of India. Okay? Coming to the fundamental rights, we are enjoying 6 fundamental rights: right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, so these fundamental rights are guaranteed by the constitution. In India, these fundamental rights are more elaborate and detailed manner. Okay, this type of detailed and elaborate manner is not present in USA also. Okay, and fundamental rights are justiciable in nature. It means these are enforceable by the courts if their violation. Okay, and fundamental rights are for the upholding the equality of individual, and for the uphold the dignity of the individual, and uphold the unity of the nation. Okay, and fundamental rights for the promoting the idea of a political democracy. Okay, so fundamental rights can promote the political democracy in India, and these are for the protect and safeguard for the liberties and freedom of individuals. Okay, and one more thing is fundamental rights can prevent the authoritarian despotic rule. Okay, despotic rule means the ruler rules in a cruel manner. Okay, and it operate some limitations. It can impose some limitations on the executive point of view. Okay, and it can operate the limitations on the arbitrary laws of legislature. Arbitrary laws means some laws which are favor for the some group. Okay, and fundamental rights are guaranteed and protected by the constitution. So constitution itself is a fundamental law of land. Okay, so these fundamental rights are essentials to the individuals. Originally fundamental rights are 7 before 1978. Okay, at present we are enjoying 6 fundamental rights from the constitution. Okay, right to property under article 31 is one of the fundamental right, but this was deleted from the fundamental rights list by 44th constitutional amendment act 1978, and this right to property was made a legal right under article 300a part 12. Okay, coming to the features of the fundamental rights. Some fundamental rights only available to the citizens. Citizens means who got the complete citizenship of the India. Okay, and some fundamental rights are available to all the persons. Okay, all the persons means citizens, foreigners, legal persons also comes under the persons. Okay, and fundamental rights are defended and guaranteed by the Supreme Court. Okay, so aggrieved person can go to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of that particular fundamental right, and these are justiciable. If violated, the fundamental rights can be enforceable by the courts. So fundamental rights are justiciable, and the fundamental rights can be suspended during the emergency time. Okay, so during the national emergency, except 20 and 21 articles, remaining fundamental rights are restricted or suspended. Okay, so article 19 also suspends only on the grounds of war or external aggression. It means article 19 suspends only during the external emergency, not on the internal emergency. Okay, and restrictions of fundamental rights application to some forces like armed forces, paramilitary forces. Armed forces means army, navy, air force. Okay, and paramilitary forces means CRPF, etc. Okay, and police forces means state police, central police, etc. And intelligence agency means intelligence bureau, CBI, RA. Okay, so these forces, the persons who are working under these forces may be some restrictions of the fundamental rights. Okay, this important provision comes under the article 33. And fundamental rights are not sacrosanct and permanent, so the fundamental rights can be curtailed or repealed or removed by the Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, but this removal only by the Constitutional Amendment Act, not by ordinary act. Okay, so the Parliament has the power to repeal under Article 368. But one more condition is without affecting basic structure, it can repeal. And the aim of fundamental rights is a government of laws, not of men. This is very important feature. Okay, and fundamental rights are not absolute but qualified. Okay, so state can impose some restrictions on the fundamental rights, and these restrictions are justiciable or not, this decision must be taken by the courts. Okay, and fundamental rights is a strike a balance between rights of individuals one side and individuals liberty. It means this is a balance between society and social control. Society means society, social control means citizens. Okay, some fundamental rights are a negative concept to state, because fundamental rights can impose limitations on the laws. Okay, but some fundamental rights are positives to the people because they are enjoying some fundamental rights against state. That's why these fundamental rights may be positive to the people. And scope of operation of fundamental rights is limited by three articles: article 31a, article 31b, article 31c. Okay, so we will discuss these three articles in another class detailed. Okay, and fundamental rights can restricted while martial rule or military rule. Okay, so this during the martial rule, the fundamental rights can be suspended. So this provision comes under the article 34. During the abnormal situations, the martial rule will apply in that particular part. Okay, if police force or bureaucratic force fail to administer the state, the military, it means martial rule will apply to that particular part. Okay, and one more thing is martial rule or military rule is very different from national emergency. Okay, I already said fundamental rights can repeal by Constitutional Amendment Act by using 368 article. Okay, and fundamental rights, most of the fundamental rights are directly enforceable. It means self executory, but some few fundamental rights are not self executory, so government can make laws for the affection of those fundamental rights in our country. Okay, so this important provision comes under the article 35. So those laws which made by the parliament only, not by the state legislature, because of maintaining the uniformity in laws, parliament can make such laws. Okay, and coming to the constitutional provisions of fundamental rights, it means detailed articles. Articles 12 to 35 part 3, which deals about the fundamental rights. Okay, first one is right to equality, articles 14 to 18. Right to freedom, articles 19 to 22. Right against exploitation, articles 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion, articles 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, articles 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies, article 32. Okay, so in another class we will discuss each and every article. Okay.